Today is a review for the Yuri Manhwa Diary of Bad Thoughts and a day of my flat jokes about the main characters. The manhwa begins with a naughty dream of the main character named Minju involving her best friend Yuna. I want to publicly state, Yuna is my waifu. Yes, there are only hotties in this manhwa, although let's get factual, all women are hotties. The guys at the university are drooling over Yuna and I totally understand them. Minju and Yuna became friends back in high school, and apparently because of their long and strong friendship, so if anything, they're really just friends. Because of this close relationship, Minju doesn't hesitate to tell Yuna about her dream, and jokingly suggests that she try to make it come true. Yuna, however, didn't appreciate the joke, as she was secretly in love with Minju. This is made known to a girl named Yura. She's, well, antagonistic of sorts here. But the worst thing Yura did was read a collection of bad advice as a child, and then decided to hand it out left and right. Yura is a mutual friend of Minju and Yuna, has a bunch of accomplishments in amorous affairs, and often goes to the club to find a girlfriend for the night. The girls are called to a college party, the point of which is to bond and get drunk. Minju does the task perfectly, even managing to hit on a younger guy. Jihoon, that's his name, is a non-drinker, and in Korea that's kind of disrespectful to those around him. The guy was trying to give up alcohol. Minju, who was sitting next to him, decided to help the poor guy and drank for him. Yuna, seeing her friend's condition, finished the contents of her glass and asked her to go home and sleep it off. Apparently hearing only the last word, she falls asleep on the guy's shoulder. Jihoon suggests that Minju go out for ice cream, but their plans are ruined by Yuna, who is clearly not happy that her drunken friend is going out with a new acquaintance. Minju just wanted to eat ice cream with a cute guy who looks like he's out of the drama, so it's a bummer. Yura was watching the drama from the back alley. She's not wasting any time at all and is doing two useful things at the same time. By the way, you can also watch this video and write a couple of nice words in the comments at the same time. It helps me a lot in promotion. Thank you very much. The next day, Minju, after a heavy hangover, goes to the university to apologize to Yuna for the previous night. Before she could call out to her friend, Jihoon came up behind her, concerned about her new acquaintance's condition. Yuna, who was smoking nearby, interjected into their conversation, gave the guy a scornful look, and was about to drag her friend away from him, as she had done yesterday. But Jihoon didn't hesitate, quickly entering his number into Minju's phone and promising that they would meet again. Minju is right on the prowl, but she likes getting attention from a cute guy in general. Yuna is jealous of her friend, which is unusual for her, but that's only to the advantage of the local villain, Yura, who likes to make fun of Yuna in a sneaky way. She ostentatiously asks Minju loudly about the new guy in her life, has she had sex yet, and when to expect a wedding. You know that Krinya matchmaker, you haven't even started dating yet and she wants you to have beautiful children and die on the same day. I demand an apology from the manhwa author for this beauty. I swear, I'm one step away from hanging up Yuna's poster because I like her design so much. Minju goes on a date with Jihoon, but her conscience overcomes her and she apologizes to Jihoon in a hurry and runs off to Yuna's place. A date at a restaurant is cool and very romantic, but there's nothing better than beer and chips with loved ones. Although I'm more of a fan of playing consoles and eating something delicious on top of that. Pardon my wet food fantasy. Let's get back to the important plot of the manhwa. Minju likes to drink, but she didn't come to Yuna's house just for that purpose. She's already drunk enough to share with her friend what's bothering her, namely why there's been a rift between them in just one day. Come to think of it, a problem in a relationship is voiced through the mouth, not the basement, with insults behind the back and so on. I'm shocked, but such a gesture of adequacy doesn't always happen here. If everything was spoken on the spot, the manhwa would have ended at chapter 8. I sound like an expert in some very intellectual field, not someone who reads porn. Yuna puts her drunken friend to bed and decides to cosplay Cringe Yaoi Man, take advantage of Minju's vulnerable position and kiss her on the lips while she sleeps. Am I judging this? Yes. Would I want to be kissed by Yuna while I'm sleeping? Yes. In between exploring someone else's drunken mouth, Yuna confesses her love to her friend and goes to sleep in the other room. Minju wakes up and doesn't realize if she had another erotic dream with Yuna or if her friend actually confessed her feelings and kissed her. In the morning, Minju is straight as a rail and asks what happened between them after Yuna put her to bed. The girl tries to dodge the question and is saved, in a way, by Yura, who swoops in and goes back into matchmaker mode and starts prying Minju for information about her fiancé. On her date with Jihoon, which finally took place, the girl couldn't get the thought out of her head that the guy sitting across from her looked a lot like Yuna. Even a common gesture like pouring a glass of water reminded Minju of her friend. Jihoon sees that his companion is thinking about something extraneous. He asks her to focus on her date and enjoy the evening. At the end of the dinner, Minju kisses the guy and they part ways. Yura, to the great misfortune of the protagonists, is often nearby, and this evening was no exception. Minju told her that she kissed Jahoon. Yura explained that it was normal, even healthy. But what troubled the girl was something else entirely. The fact that her first kiss had been brazenly stolen last night, but she had enjoyed it. Minju hadn't directly said who the thief was, but as if there weren't many suspects. Yura didn't think long, remembered the same collection of bad advice, and suggested Minju try with the mysterious stranger, we don't know exactly who we're talking about, to become sex buddies. Yura generally enjoys the thrill of watching the love drama live. And let me remind you, she knows about Yuna's secret feelings for Minaj. If she were a good matchmaker, she would give different advice. So I wouldn't take her on a talk show where people are looking for a mate. At home, Minju pondered Yura's words and decided to engage in self-satisfaction. It turned out that she didn't know how to do it, but it didn't take much intelligence. She figured it out pretty quickly. In the morning, Minju wakes up from Yuna's messages, who reminds her that today they are going to a cafe to do their homework. Minju will cosplay a tomato all day and still won't focus on her studies. In the evening, the girls split up. Minju was squeezed like a lemon. The burden of someone else's bust was hard on her, but I'm happy to help and hold her up for her. That night, the girl didn't come home. Sounds criminal, especially if you, like me, like to watch crime shows on YouTube. But the most criminal thing about this video is how the author drags out the development of events. All that happens next is, well, I cannot show much. I can only say that the girls had a great time together. It could have ended here, but Yura didn't play villain enough. All of life is a role-playing game, and she's the bad girl in it. Yura explains to Minju that until Yuna confesses her feelings to her, they're not in a serious relationship and are just friends with benefits. All the problems that followed could have been avoided if they had lived by the rules in this manhwa. Talk about their worries out loud instead of keeping it to themselves and asking strangers for advice. And actually, Minju and Yuna are a bit similar. Maybe you should just have a threesome because Yura, I do act as some sort of mediator in the main character's relationship. And okay if only Minju was such a gulp in their relationship, but no, Yuna is too. It's true what they say, love dulls you. So Yuna decided to find out what Yura and Minju talked about in her absence. Why don't you ask Minju, who you've known for 1,000 years? No, you can ask Yura, who's obviously provoking you. And she doesn't even hide her sneaky nature anymore, sneering at Yuna, dropping the call and continuing to have sex with some girl in the meantime. This red-haired beauty will later attract Yura to his evil deeds. Her name is Minnie. Always walks with a hagao face. It's not clear why the two of them do not live peacefully together, and it is necessary to meddle in the relationship between Yuna and Minnie. I don't know, maybe Yura is just jealous that someone's relationship lasts more than one day. I want to get to the bottom of it, because so far she's a villain just because she's a villain. Like the Reveler in the first season of Ladybug, Fly My Woman and Separate Them. About the more than one day relationship between Yuna and Minju, I certainly said right. They naturally, after a good night together, didn't discuss anything. Yuna thinks they're done dating, and Minju thought they were just sex partners. Thanks, so to speak, Yura. Your ideas will always be relevant. Yuna tries to solve this misunderstanding somehow, but screws it up more at the end. She asks Minju, what kind of relationship are we in now? The girl replies, I think we're friends with benefits, aren't we? Yuna, maybe I'm wrong. And yes, she is wrong. What should Yuna answer to that? Yuna replies, you're right, we're just sex partners. Yuna goes to the bar to pour out her grief. Yura comes up to her and starts getting on her nerves as usual. Yuna is not in the mood to listen to her at all, pours the contents of her glass on the girl and leaves. From this moment, Yura will play big and will attract Minya, whose task is to seduce Yuna and destroy the relationship of our protagonists. Yuna loves only one girl. She doesn't care about any pretty girl. But the fact that Yuna is now hanging around red-haired misunderstanding did not go unnoticed by Minju, who, of course, made the erroneous conclusion that now Yuna has a new relationship. Remember when I said that you should talk about your experiences out loud instead of jumping to false conclusions? Well, here's another example. Minju tries not to think about the girl who is now supposedly busy, but on a date with Jahoon. Once again, she sees the guy as her friend. In the evening, Yuna buys food and drinks, goes to her friend's house to make up, but sees Jahoon saying goodbye to Minju at the door. Yuna, just like that, draws her own conclusions in her head and leaves. Minhee takes pictures of her on the sly and sends them to Yura, who is very happy that everything is going according to her plan. The next day, 3 girls are sitting in a coffee shop. I still don't understand why. These ones seem to be in a fight. These ones too, sitting well, comfortable I guess, very much so. Minhee goes into the same coffee shop to get Yuna. They leave, leaving Minhee and Yura alone. And as we already know, there's not much good in that. In the evening, Yuna arrives at Minju's house, and from the doorstep, he falls into her lips without consent. Minju breaks into tears, but in response she kisses the girl with more passion. After some very strange sex, Yuna goes straight to the shower, gets dressed and leaves with the words, "Minju, I'm sorry we can't be together. God, give me the strength to continue this retelling." To make a long story short, there's a lot of drama going on. Jihoon does confess his feelings to Minju, but she turns him down because she loves Yuna. Minju, who was just a half-finished character in the beginning, only after chapters 20 finally warmed up in the microwave and took things into her strong feminine hands. In the last few chapters to date, Minju sang the song "I Love You" at a university festival, dedicating it to Yuna, of course. There was a moment where Minju is pointing towards Yuna, like, "Yeah, I love you, you." And Jihoon was there, and I thought Yuna was going to turn around and think it was dedicated to him. But thank you. If there had been a misunderstanding here too, I would have died of shame and bad imagination of the manhwa author. I would have sung at the festival too. Why do I keep reading this? Yuna and Minju seem to be together now and have talked things out. Yay. I wonder if this is where it ends or if there will be a million more chapters of them breaking up, getting back together, fighting, reconciling. What do you think? And in general, what do you think of today's manhwa? A little variety in content. I'm not really into this kind of manhwa, but I'd love to read it, so what else can I read in the comments? Just a reminder to like the video and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you watched till the end. Have a nice day.